Old Hat String Band. Whitney Roy of Old Hat String Band very much likes the wildness of early spring grasses, how they're all different lengths reaching for the light and the greenest of greens. She very much dislikes when her pinky toenail tells her it's time to be cut by getting stuck in her sock when she's putting it on in a rush. Steve Roy of the Old Hat String Band says that contrary to popular sentiment, I like airports. I dislike stepping in cat puke in the morning prior to my first caffeinated beverage. Cat puke does not sound like a nice thing to step in, not like a bed of soft moss. Steve and Whitney play music you might hear riding by an old house that sits on a dirt road. Sitting on their porch, chickens clucking in time. Their donkey Gus pondering the intricacies of a dandelion before devouring it, and Romeo, the mini horse, in all his glory, watching on in quiet approval as the music now nestles squarely in your head.
All right, welcome to Burst and Bloom Presents. Today we have Old Hat String Band here. Next to me is Whitney Roy. Slightly further away, Steve Roy. And these are two of the band members, though there are more.
Yeah, generally we play, we started as a duo and then added in our friend Amanda on bass, and then when we can get a fiddle player, we do. But generally, we play out as a trio, mostly.
Yeah, Amanda's really fun to watch, too.
She is
She's
really fun in every
Zesty.
way.
Yeah,
She's
that's
the
awesome.
best.
How
We
did you
call
guys-
her our secret weapon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she murders people for you.
Totally. Yeah. That's her vibe,
Murders them with kindness.
Yes,
How
exactly.
did you guys hook up with Amanda?
She's been like a friend of yours for a long time.
Yeah, I've known her for a long time, and just through the bluegrass world. And I met her when she was living in Nashville, but she was on the road coming through. She was playing in Wolfboro, New Hampshire, with a band that she was playing with, and so I met her first there. But then I knew we had mutual friends and all that, and then finally she ended up moving to this area, and right away we went to some picking party where we're all playing tunes and.
You got your lasso out and snagged her.
Oh yeah.
We want
So
some
I've
of
known
that.
her for a while now.
Yeah.
Well, we're just listening to your album, which sounds awesome. How
Oh,
It Lies, and you made that last year, is that right?
It'll be 2 years ago, actually. We
Coming
released
up,
it in
yeah.
August of 2022.
Sweet. Well, I remember when you were working on that. It was a very exciting time, and I feel like maybe songwriting came a little later for you guys. Feels like you were doing a lot of covers initially, as is the bluegrass tradition.
Definitely.
How was it dipping your toes into trying to write in that vein?
Well, it was fun. It kind of came about through the RPM challenge, really. And I've always dabbled with writing songs with my other band, Jazz Sputin.
Of course.
And we with that song I'd write songs, but they were always joke. It was always like a joke song. It's like, I can put a beat to that, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
So it was always all some stupid joke or whatever, or a song that we basically wrote on stage while we were just playing it. And I said, well, I'll do that again. But nothing like every time I've tried to write a composed song, it didn't really ever come out good. And so we both started to do the RPM challenge, and we both kind of wrote songs independently,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of combined them all together to make a record. But then finally we ended up writing one of our songs, "Look at Me That Way." It was our first co-write, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened after the RPM challenge. So we finished the RPM challenge, and it was finally all of a sudden this song that was way better than anything we'd written previously pops out. It's like, ooh. And so it was nice writing a song together. We started playing that one out, and it got a decent reception. So then it seemed like everything we write together turns out better than the things we write separately. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Very fun. Yeah, the RPM challenge where you write and record an album in February is a big instigator around here and elsewhere. It's worldwide.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I know I've nudged you guys into trying to make some tracks, which appreciative you were able to pop those up. There was one, Steve, where you did a bunch of production that felt like it was in a live scenario.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about that, because that was really...
Which track is that?
can't remember what it's called, but it was for one of the compilations, and it just somehow you got it so it felt like you were in the room at a live show.
Was this the 1 minute long song?
Maybe. It's all a blur.
Trying to remember.
I'm trying.
I know it's all a blur.
Yeah, I do like writing songs like that.
Yeah, I was thinking
recording
that,
songs like that.
I was thinking that it must be wild to, bluegrass has such a long tradition, and it's such a kind of specific archetype for writing songs. That trying to fit into that and finding your own voice, and you sort of tricky in that way. How has that been for you?
Yeah, it's been, we always have people that we look up to or admire, and, they say, like, it's flattering to, like, play something that sounds a lot like somebody, but then you also kind of want to create your own sound, and you don't want to, like, copy people. And so there is kind of that fine line of maybe covering someone's song per se, but then kind of making it your own version. And so with songwriting, yeah, it's funny because some people that don't know us very well will just say, oh yeah, they're a bluegrass band. That's kind of when they don't really know the other genres that we kind of dip into. They
Metal and pop.
Totally, like we're secretly metal, but it's fun to kind of weave in and out of the genres that kind of surround bluegrass and folk and Americana, old time country. So it's been kind of a fun challenge to mesh all those sounds that we like together to make something that's our own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found every time I try and write a song in a certain style or anything like that, it doesn't, usually if I just let whatever come out, then that tends to be the best thing.
Yeah.
And so some of our songs that we've written together that it just pops out a certain way ends up being kind of, I don't know, some singer-songwriter kind of stuff goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you play a bunch of different instruments, even in a bunch of bands. How is it popping around in the different scenes that you're in?
Oh, it's great. It's great. And I like all types of music and all that, so that's good. And a bunch of different friends. And, I went to UNH, so I played a lot of jazz in the music department there. So around here, my jazz buddies from school and from after school, and I see them around a lot. Although I haven't played as much jazz as I would like lately, but then the bluegrass scene has been kind of a nice home there, and it really appeals to me, the whole acoustic thing, and that whole community ends up being a really good, it's good hang.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And who were some of the folks that inspired you in making your songs? The kind of things that you listened to that were like,
Oh man, that's a tricky one. I feel like I have so many musicians that I look up to.
Too vast.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of too vast.
Well, one of the people that I've always is big inspiration for me has always been Dave Talmadge, who when I first got into bluegrass, I met him right away, and we hit it off. But just the way he writes songs is he's got kind of a Woody Guthrie kind of vibe, where it's like, I don't know, make a clever little joke, let's turn it into a song. Mm-hmm. But then every once in a while he'll come up with an idea for a song that's just really like, poignant or heavy hitting or, not a joke. Yeah. And so there's always a good mix there of like serious songs and some, songs will make you cry, but songs will also make you pee your pants laughing too.
I'm trying to picture Woody Guthrie on rollerblades.
With a band.
As Dave does,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, such an inspiration.
And I will say, like, definitely locally, you have been a major inspiration. You are just like, it just seems like every second you've got a new song, and you've been a really good reminder for me to kind of just get out of my own head, and just write something, and you might not like it. Nobody may ever hear it.
I never like it, so. Yeah.
But as a little girl, I used to like walk around my yard and sing to myself and write these stupid songs. They were nothing, but
I've never heard any of these songs.
There's one in particular I remembered, which I am not going to sing right now.
I want to hear
it was just about traveling and like places I wanted to go to. But that's when I kind of learned about rhyming, like rhyme schemes. But I think now what I'm trying to work on is writing stuff that doesn't rhyme, and it's really hard. Like I'm having a
see if you can get away with that. Right?
Yeah. So I think that's my next project. Maybe your next RPM challenge should be songs that don't have any rhyming in them at all.
I didn't rhyme for a long time writing songs.
You just rhymed.
See, now I can't help myself.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should do an album of all those old like kids songs.
Yeah. Oh God.
So that they're walking around.
My brother Ian, I should call him up and see how many of them he can remember.
Awesome. Well, are there new things in the works? Put that album out a couple of years ago. I know you play out a lot. Are there songs that are popping up that you're looking to record and making another release?
Eventually.
Yeah, not as much as as I would figure. It seems like we had a little lull, but since we put out our album and all that stuff.
Yeah.
After that, you just want
Songwriters.
to take a nice nap and
Yeah.
rest
But
for a
then again, we
while.
never set out to be like, let's write a bunch of songs.
Right.
It's just
Right.
they just started popping out. So
I
it's
mean,
been
really-
pretty organic.
The pandemic kind of just was like, hey, you've got some time now, whether you like it or not, and you're going to be holed up in a house together, whether you like it or not, and so
Do something with that
I
time.
think we really tried to turn that into a creative
Yeah.
outlet
That's
for
awesome.
us.
Yeah, and how does it work as a couple making songs? Are there ways that one of you starts one, the other jumps in, or how does that happen?
Yeah, I think we found like for a lot of our instrumental songs or tunes, you're kind of the
Oh yeah,
You're kind
for
of
the
the
instrumental
jump
stuff.
starter, yeah.
For just like fiddle tunes or mandolin tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times what will happen is I will have an idea of a song that, like something that I want to write about, or a theme, or
Or a
a
nice
chord
melody or
progression,
something
or a
like that.
melody.
She's good with the initial ideas for sure.
Like one time I was just sitting on the couch strumming something, and Steve was down cellar, and he just ran upstairs and said, "What's that? What are you doing?"
What are you doing? Wait.
There's a bunch of crap before, but
I don't
now
know.
you've hit something.
I don't know what
really
it
good.
is. And he just said, keep going, whatever you're doing, just keep going. And then it's been really great because generally that will happen. And then he'll kind of swoop in and have a lyrical idea or a different chord progression idea. And, it is really scary. You have that moment where if you have written something and you're not ready for people to hear it yet. But then, he might hear it from far away and he'll ask what it is. And then you're just, and you have that moment where you're not quite sure you're ready to share it, but then you kind of just have to take that step and be like, all right, this is what I've got so far. What do you think? Do you still love me? Am I a weirdo? And yeah, it's cool. It kind of really opened up like another door into our relationship. Yeah, it's been a trip.
Oh, it's great. And the fun thing is that it's kind of nice. We don't really write songs about each other, which,
Right.
I know some
I mean,
people.
you're saying that, but we've listened, and I think there are a couple there.
Well,
Well, we write songs, but it's not one of those things where I'm just like writing a love song for
Of course,
Whitney or
right.
she's writing one for me. It's usually about like some aspect of what's going on, but it's not specifically like writing to Whitney or
Right.
writing to me. And then a lot of the songs that we've written are about kind of like either friends that have something going on.
So don't tell you secrets.
No.
That's what you're saying.
Don't tell us secrets. We'll write a song about it.
well, but we won't let your secrets out. We won't lay them on the table.
You'll obfuscate.
We won't spoon feed them. Yeah.
Okay.
Or we've written songs about like things that we just made up. You know?
Yeah.
And like a story or a love story, but it's a made up love story, that we're like, oh, what I don't know, some fabricated situation.
Yeah. Well, I love there's a lot of specificity in your songs, and it feels like you're creating, sort of rooms that you can walk around in. Yeah, I love that about them. They seem experiential in ways. So we're going to listen to your song, Little Pony.
Yeah.
So let's take a break and set up for that.
All right. Hello. We are Steve and Whitney from Old Hat String Band.
You can find our music on oldhatstringband.com. We also have a Bandcamp page, we have a Linktree page, we have a Facebook page, and an Instagram page, and a YouTube page. And they're all at Old Hat String Band. Pretty easy to find.
Alrighty, Burst and Bloom presents Old Hat String Band here in my house on the blue couch. Very excited for this. Now this is a song that was off of your album Power Lines, Little Pony. Can you give us some insight into where this came from? Where this little pony strolled into your house?
Yeah. It's kind of based off of a saying my mom always used to say to us growing up, which was based off of a saying her nanny would say to her growing up whenever they'd be going through hard times. And the saying is, trot along, little pony, never mind what's rough and stony. And so we kind of took that saying and divided it up. And Steve came up with some pretty great lyrics for it, which was nice. And we kind of just pictured, we wrote it during the pandemic when all of us were really unsure of what the future was going to bring. And
It's my favorite time.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And it's kind of just a keep going song, regardless of what the future might bring. Just, speed the plow and keep
Get
trotting
along with
on.
the doggy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious about writing lyrics together. That seems like a really hard task for me. It's been. So are you sitting down together in the same room, kind of
Sometimes.
working on lyrics?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I think I had this was kind of a great example of when I had the tune idea and the idea of the song
Mhm.
and some lyrical ideas, and then I think you went for a walk
Yeah.
at one point when
Because
we
you guys
had
were having at it. So
get
get out of here, Steve.
we had kind of the baby idea of the song, and Steve went for a walk and he came back.
I think I was going out it was the morning. I was going out to the chickens. And it was like the sun was shining and there's frost on the ground. And it was like, I don't know, a few images. It was mainly like, a couple images were and the words describing those images. It was like, oh, that sounds nice. So threw those into the tune. And then it was one of those, a lot of times we work well when it's, Whitney will come up with an idea and then I'll see a couple holes where it's like, oh, fill that with this thing and throw this chord there and I'll fill in some of the holes and then bring it back to her and she'll be like, what's up with that? And let's change this and let's do this. And so a lot of times it's like she'll have something and I'll take it over and then bring it back. And she'll be, well, no, let's do this and this. And we'll kind of bounce off each other.
That's awesome.
Things like that.
It's almost like one of us is the student writing the paper, and then the other one's the professor kind of editing it, and then the roles will flip.
Yeah, you just keep passing the hat back. and
Yeah,
forth.
yeah.
But it's not always, it was for this tune, but it's not always like that. So we've had times, certain songs I remember where we're just sitting there brainstorming and then she'll go, oh, that note there. It's, oh, okay, cool, let's keep that. And so, I mean, we've done every which way. It seems like we've kind of figured our way through tunes,
We don't have a specific attack plan
which is
in
good, I
mind.
think.
I've
You just
taken
attack. You just
we
know
just
you're
attack.
going to.
Yeah, and recently I've taken some songwriting workshops, and that's been really helpful. And it's really cool to learn and hear about how other people go about writing songs. And a lot of people are quite regimented and have their specific exercises that they like to do. And I don't know. I think we just kind of, we just end up feeling something or hearing something that we like or thinking of a line that we like and then just kind of devote a little bit of time to that. And it definitely doesn't happen all in one sitting. I know for some people
Sometimes it does,
Yeah.
but sometimes we have
Yeah.
to chip away at it for a while.
So
This one hung around for a while.
I love that.
Yeah.
Great. You want to give it to us? A little bit?
Yeah. See the sunlight in the morning. Yes, the tops of all the trees. Look to the world today. Melt the frost out at your feet. Ride along, my little pony. Keeping steady on your way. Never mind what's rough and stony. Many miles to go today.
Such a treat.
Oh, thanks.
And I've never been in such proximity of you two.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Well, thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having us. This is great.
answering weird questions. Coming to the house.
The best
Eating
kind.
cookie.
Yeah.
All right. Burst and Bloom presents out.